all good. It's all good. We're all family here. All right. Today, we're going to talk about being a promise keeper. Because if you
Ooh.
can't trust yourself, why should anybody else trust you?
Ooh.
Every time that you break a promise to yourself, you are writing a message in your subconscious to tell your subconscious not to trust you and that you're not trustworthy. We want to dig deep into this today because it's very important that we start keeping the promises to ourselves so that we can show up as a better person for the ones that we love around us. So, as Megan and Audra are talking about how proud they are of their kids, I think that's so awesome that your kids are becoming independent. But it also brought me back to that time where I had kids at home and was giving so much to my kids and kept all of my promises to my family, but didn't keep promises to myself. So that was like the perfect segue into this. Because I think as parents, that's something that we are so good at, like keeping our promises to everybody else and not making room and space to keep the promises to ourselves.
Mm.
So let's start off with just an interactive activity. So unmute or put in the comments here. Think about someone in your life that you absolutely trust. Doesn't have to be someone close to you even, but someone you absolutely trust. Could be a family member, a mentor, coach, a leader. So let's just throw out like who are some people you trust and what makes you trust them? What do they do consistently that makes you trust them?
They
You
encourage
and
me.
Matt. Encouragement. Okay.
Say you and Matt because you do what you say you're gonna do and you just show up all the time.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So we've got encouraging, shows up. Who else can you think of?
Audra would be mine.
And
Yeah,
what?
I would say my wife.
Okay.
Uh like it's we always poke at each other, like we always give each other a hard time, but uh she's a machine when it comes to her routines and her systems, and she just executes. Like it's like you could set a clock. You could set a clock to it. Her lunches, the laundry, the blitz lists, the just all the things. She's always there. She just makes it happen. Like I never have to worry if she says I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It's done. It's like off of my mind.
I would go with my husband too. He's always just like, I know he's always going to show up, even if I don't even ask him. Like,
Mhm.
weird example, but today I'm walking out in the rain and all of a sudden the truck pulls up. Like, he's watching the weather. He knows it's raining and he's fine with me walking in the rain till that thunder and that lightning hits. And then he's there. Like, just, I don't have to ask. He just knows. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. So, like, a lot of the things we're hearing here are encouraging. They show up. You're talking about a machine, systems, processes, routines, consistency. So I think we can all agree, right? People that show up in your life that do the same thing consistently, that you know you can just depend on them. So think of like an airline pilot, right? They go through the checklist every single time. There's no shortcuts at all. That consistency is what keeps you safe. And I would venture to guess that most of us can sit on an airplane and we don't think twice about putting our trust in the hands of the pilot, or we wouldn't be on that airplane. Or your favorite restaurant. How many of you guys have a favorite restaurant in town?
Mhm.
What makes it your favorite restaurant?
Consistent.
You know you're going to get the same thing, like
Yep.
same level, the same quality, the same service when you show up. Yep, that consistency is everything. So now we're going to flip it inward. If consistency is the reason we trust others, how often do we keep our own promises to ourselves? And how does that affect the trust that we have in ourselves? So I will be the first to admit I am very inconsistent. Like the one thing that I'm consistent on is I get up at 5:30 every morning during the week. That's just one promise I kept for myself, and I found that that routine and having that extra time in the morning is helpful. But what I do with that time is very inconsistent. I always have some sort of movement, but sometimes I'm really good at waking up and doing the mindset work that I know I should be doing first. And sometimes I pick up my phone and I go look at Facebook and scroll. So that inconsistency has really just trained my mind to not make that a habit. We don't look at the phone when we first get up. That's something that I'm currently struggling with. How many of you guys have a goal or something that you've spoken that you want to get done that you're not doing because of lack of consistency,
Oh,
lack of routine,
yeah. Obstacles.
obstacles? How many of you are not doing that because once it comes down to the time to do it, you're just not feeling like it? So you're doing it, you're avoiding it based on feelings. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the big thing too, is like you got to
Yeah.
do the things even when you don't feel like doing the things. When we make a promise to someone else, we usually keep it. Right? You told your friend you're going to do something, you're going to show up and do it. You just don't decide to not show up typically. So the question is, why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we not why do we not treat ourselves as well or better than our friends and our family? What if someone's life depended on you getting up and doing the workout, making your phone calls, doing the things that you needed to do to get to the end goal? I mean, I think in theory it does, right? We're like our family depends on us to make the phone calls, to get the money, to support our family, to provide for them. But we just don't see it that way for whatever reason. It becomes an us thing, and it's easy to let us down. Can you imagine, Matt, if your surgeon would have just decided to skip your surgery yesterday? I don't feel like it. Or
Yeah.
would have taken some shortcuts on that. You know what? We're just gonna get you. That looks fine. Oh, it's fine. We're just gonna close you up. Like it'll heal itself. I
Yeah.
don't feel like doing the full surgery today. I don't feel like drilling in your bone. Right? It's just silly. Like we don't show up for ourselves in the same way that other professionals show up for themselves. Your brain is a really interesting organ. Until like I don't even know how many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, something like that. Like, everybody thought your brain was just fixed. There was no changing your brain. You get older, your brain stays the same. There's no changing any of that. And there's been some really exciting like innovations and discoveries over the years where they realize you can change your brain. You can change your thinking. And I think that should bring us a little bit of excitement because that means that we don't have to stay stuck in the position that we're in today. Just because we have a routine of letting ourselves down, not keeping our promises, making goals that we don't achieve, doesn't mean that we have to stay there. We can literally reprogram our brain to be more consistent, more effective, and more disciplined.
Mhm. I was I forget who I was listening to. Somebody had posted something. There's like levels to the promise breaking to yourself. And like the lowest energy, the lowest level of this is the victim, the can't catch a break guy. The universe is against me. Like no matter what I do, I can't catch a break. It's stacked against me no matter what I do. One step forward, three steps back. Like that energy right there is like black hole victim. And then there's like the next level of um well, no one told me, no one's waking me up. Like why didn't you remind me? Right? So there's all of a sudden there's like a little bit of a finger point blame. Like that's the next level of victimhood. And then crossing over to the other side is ownership. Is okay, I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. Because and then the disconnect there is because it only affects me. Like stop, like leave me alone. This doesn't have anything to do with you. This is me. Let me just I'm the boss of me, right? You get the people that are like they say they have uh a defiance disorder, but what they have is an accountability issue. It's not that they don't like to do what people tell them to do, it's they refuse to take any accountability,
Yeah.
right? That's the next level. And then the highest level is ownership, right? And then execution. And understanding that and and what's interesting is if like I'm a visual guy, so even when I say these things, like in my mind, the eyes are down, and like the lower your vision is, the whole like I'm in a black hole, no one can help me, the world's against me, and you start looking up, and it's like, well, you didn't help me, you didn't remind me, etc. And you look up a little bit more, and you're like, well, leave me alone. It has nothing to do with you. This is all about me. And then the highest form is look at all these people that are counting on me. Look at all of these other lives, these futures, these legacies that are affected by my lack of action. So the more we get outside of ourselves, I think the more powerful and impactful our decisions become, because everything we do is never solely about us because we're so interconnected with so many other people. And I think one of the biggest challenges with people that have trouble keeping promises to themselves is they don't see outside themselves.
It's, I think it's a funny kind of like ball of yarn, right? That they've wound themselves up in because it's an ego thing that they can't get outside of themselves. But a lot of it is a self-confidence thing because the more you lie to yourself, the more you don't keep promises to yourself, the less confidence, self-confidence you're going to have. Because how can you trust yourself? How can you have good self-confidence if you're not showing up for yourself like you made your promise to do? And then it tends to be going out and trying to seek that outside validation, which then the ego comes in and works against them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back to the training, retraining your mind to do the things that you're going to promise that, you know, that you promise yourself you're going to do, it's really like training a puppy. And this is going to sound bad, but I tell my people all the time, we ring a bell when we have success in our, like in our office meetings. If you had a win for the week, we ring the bell. And I said, it's sort of like Pavlov's theory, right? Like you guys all learned about that, I'm sure, in high school. Yes. Where if a dog does some, if you're trying to reinforce a behavior, you're ringing a bell. And so it's almost like you almost have to take yourself back to like you're training a puppy. And every time that you do a behavior that's good, you're going to reinforce that. You're going to operate like you're going to try to reinforce that so your brain hangs on to it and wants to do it again. So why do you guys think we start these meetings with gratitudes? Because we all like just patting ourselves on the back and we're like, this is awesome. I want y'all to brag about yourself.
Yes,
Yes, and
because we are awesome.
we are awesome. And you should celebrate your wins. But why should you celebrate your wins? Because you want to see more of them. And the things we celebrate come back to us because we're training our brain to look for the wins, to celebrate those wins, to go after the wins. That's why we celebrate and start with the gratitude. So that simple practice, and yes, we do it on here, and I know it's kind of forced. I don't want to say forced, right? You're all volunteering to give yours, except for on Friday when we forced you to. But like it's we try to pull that out of you guys because it's not just to waste time in the conversation here. It's because we want you to get in the habit of reinforcing the good things that are happening in your life so that more things will come. So you're training your brain to look for the good, to celebrate the little things, to stack those habits and build them up in a way that's going to become something bigger. So think of yourself like a puppy in training right now. And when you go do something, some little thing that you promised yourself, go celebrate that. If you set your alarm and you got up at 5:30 this morning and that's something new for you, celebrate that. If you moved your body, celebrate that. If you picked up the phone, I don't care if you just made one phone call today. If you didn't make one phone call at all in the last month and you pick up the phone and you make one phone call today, you celebrate that shit. You celebrate it so that you train your mind to accept that as something that you're going to do going forward, to see the win.
Think about this as well, right? Think about what you're attracted to. What kinds of people are you gravitate towards that you like to listen to, that you want to learn from, right? Think about how powerful that it's almost an unconscious or a silent validation of somebody. When you know somebody that just executes, that they keep their promises, like it's definitely somebody that you hang out with. Conversely, the other side of it is also really repelling. And that's when someone says something and does something else. And then when you're around that, it's really difficult, right? Um, Gosh, Nick Saban he was quoted as saying something. You love the guy, hate the guy. The guy's created some incredible results with athletes. And he said, he goes, listen, he goes, we operate one play at a time. We work on perfection one play at a time. We work on excellence one play at a time. And one thing I know for certain, mediocre people can't stand being around excellence, and excellent people can't stand to be around mediocre.
Yeah.
It's back to the conversation that we had on Friday. Be 100% authentically you and attract the right people and repel the right people. And the thing is that you don't have to say it out loud. You don't have to admit it. You think you might be fooling everyone when you're breaking the promises to yourselves, but your energy is your calling card. There's an energy that comes across when you know you're out of authenticity and you're out of integrity. And you are either attracting or repelling the right people.
It's funny that you say that. I was talking to one of my coaches the other day. This was probably 2.5 weeks ago, and I was in a good mood, and I was came to the call fairly energetic, like not prepped, like whatever, but I just came in. I thought I was putting off a good vibe. And at the end of that call, he looked at me and he said, "So what's really going on? Because there's something in your energy that is telling me that there's something that's misaligned that you're not aware of." And then I had to step back. At first, I was kind of taken back. I was like, I came to this, like, I brought energy to this meeting. What more can he want? But then he just asked a few questions. I journaled on it and I was like, holy cow, yes, I am so out of alignment, not being authentic, and just getting into a very negative space. So I think you're right. You can't fool people that are really clear in like really clear on what they want in life, are really clear with their energetic alignment. If you're sitting across from them, you're not going to be able to fool them. No matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter the words you say, they can feel it in that energy. So how do we start building confidence? How do we start keeping those promises to yourself? There's really 4 kind of tools. First, you're going to start small. You're going to start keeping at least one micro promise every day. And then you're going to start stacking those. So you're going to tie it to something you're already doing. It can even be something like you have a routine in the morning and you get up and you brush your teeth, whatever. Like you can stack all of these wins and like, I kept my routine. I kept what I was going to, like, I got up on time, like whatever, like stack it along with something you already have a routine on, and then just add one more little piece. And as you're having those little wins and they stack up, they're going to feel like bigger wins. And then track it. Make sure you're writing down, you're journaling, you're tracking it. Maybe you make a list of things you want to accomplish during the day and you can cross them off. That's going to feel good. It's going to give you that dopamine hit that you want, much better than a dopamine hit you're going to get from scrolling Facebook. And then make sure you celebrate, that you're journaling, you're celebrating those wins, so you're reinforcing that. And then that you're looking at it and saying, okay, now I've built this one habit. What's one more habit I can add on? And week by week, if you keep adding those habits, keep crossing off the list, you're going to eventually be the type of person that starts keeping promises to themselves. You're going to build that self-confidence. You're going to show up in a whole different way in this world. What do you guys think?
The book the book that keeps coming up when in this conversation is Admiral McRaven's "Make Your Bed," which is a really really powerful book. And in lieu of the book, go on YouTube and listen to his commencement speech. Admiral William McRaven, and it's the "Make Your Bed" commencement speech. It's like 18-20 minutes. It's pretty outstanding, and it starts with this, right? He said, when you make your bed every morning, you start the day off with a win. And it's a moment of discipline and a win. And that's where you start. And then you just start stacking from there.
Yeah. It's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point. Start off your day on the right foot with that win. Because then you're just it's like a snowball effect. You start with one win and then it's going to turn into multiple wins. Set your day up in the right way.
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned before is also really important. Like have some micro victories. If you're not hitting your goal, then you gotta step back and reevaluate, and then start putting together some micro moments inside your days So like if you've got a contact goal for the week and you keep coming up short, even if you're coming up 5 to 10 short, like subconsciously, like that's really detrimental, right, to your confidence and your self-worth. And so, okay, so what does that look like every day? And then inside the day, what does it look like at multiple parts of the day? So if your goal is 15 conversations, 12 conversations, 20 conversations in a day, then, and if you're having a challenge hitting those, so okay, cool. Do you have like 5 conversation milestones throughout the day? Like set yourself a goal saying, okay, I need to have 5 conversations before 10:30 and another 5 conversations before 1 o'clock and another 5 before 3. And then I don't get to go home until I have my other 5 and have those micro victories throughout the day.
Yeah.
So you can go home satisfied and internally and like consciously and subconsciously.
Yeah. And I think we have to stop looking at people like I used to get so frustrated because I am not as good at script and role play as Matt. But Matt, how many years and reps do you have under your belt? Right?
Yeah.
When I started coaching with you 2 years ago, how many years did you have under your belt? Many. How many
Yeah.
conversations?
13 years of just
Right.
be because I didn't have a database. So I didn't have friends and family to talk to. I had to talk to strangers the whole time. So I just had an accelerated education on what not to say. I
Yeah.
still got my teeth kicked in all day, just
Yeah.
like everybody else. I just had to go through it faster because I didn't have an option.
Right. But I had to get out of my own head and realize like my scripts, the way that I talk isn't going to sound like Matt. Like I'm going to refine that and develop
And
that
you
over time.
shouldn't.
But I
You
got to
shouldn't
get
sound like me. You
right,
sound like
right.
me.
But like as smooth and confident, right? That confidence wasn't there. But you have to step out of that comparison trap, I guess is what I'm trying to get to is I can't compare where I am today to someone who had 13 years of experience ahead of me and expect that I'm going to live up to that same level. It's going to take reps, it's going to take experience, it's going to take those little micro actions to get there. So I guess
Yeah.
point being, there's all these people online that have all these great tools of the things that you can use. Just stop. You have to just implement them, be consistent, and have the discipline and patience that you're going to get there with time. Stop comparing yourself to the people that are years and years of experience ahead of you. Yes, they can give you a shortcut roadmap, but don't expect you're going to get there tomorrow.
Word.
And we're at time.
Whoosh.
Hope you guys have a wonderful week. We will be back on Workshop Wednesday. Audra and I will chat and we'll come up with some fun content and put that out there on the page of what we're going to talk about here. So,
Yeah, buddy.
all right,
Thank
guys, have
you.
a great week. Go stack some habits. Go do something, one little thing today.
Go do something hard.
See you guys.